Hey, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Misunderstood Mommy, and as for those of you who don't know, April is actually Autism Awareness Month. So in this video, we will be talking about autism and sensory processing disorder. So stay tuned. Autism is a severe developmental disorder. First signs begin at birth, early childhood, and it affects a child socially, mentally, and emotionally, and all cases can range. Therefore, not each autistic child will be the same, and what you hear in this video may not necessarily mean that the child has autism. They could have one or more of these signs and not have autism, and whichever signs one child has, another may not have. The signs of autism are inappropriate playing with toys, inability to relate to others, hyperactivity or passiveness, inappropriate laughing or crying, oversensitive or undersensitive to sound, poor speech or lack of speech, strange attachment to objects, difficulty dealing with changes to routine, and lack of awareness of danger. Autism can have a bunch of other disabilities with it, such as ADHD, sensory integration disorder, anxiety, Tourette's, or OCD, even learning difficulties. So with autism comes sensory processing disorder, and a lot of autistics have this. I haven't. I don't think I've really met an autistic that hasn't had it, and it's one of the things that I struggle with mostly on a daily basis, and it triggers 5 of my senses: hearing, taste, touch, smell, and there's another one. Oh, vision. Duh. Anyway, the main one I'm going to talk about, or well, not the main one, the first one, is auditory processing disorder, and I don't know why, but this is the only one that I know the actual name for. I don't know the name specifically to each of these senses, so bear with me. But an auditory processing disorder, it affects your hearing. It takes you longer to process the information. So someone could tell me something and I would not process it and understand it or even realize it was said a few minutes later, and they would just be like, it's over and done with. Oh, whoa, where was I? So basically I can't hear shit. Nothing for I don't know how long. Just can't hear shit. Amy. Yo, Amy! What, dude? No need to shout. Didn't you hear me calling for you? Nope. Now, this is confusing for a lot of people, and that is because I also have a seizure disorder, and 70% to 80% are absent, I guess. And what that is staring into space. So for a lot of people, I understand why they would just assume that I am having a seizure and get very concerned. So they don't know if I'm having, I don't know what you would call it, an autism moment or whatever. I'm not always having seizures though. Sometimes it just takes longer time for the information to get to me and to even know someone's talking to me in general. So, and I think this is actually why I failed my last hearing tests, because it took a lot longer for me to process the beep. So I heard it later than I should have, and sometimes I couldn't tell if I was supposed to raise my hand or not, so I like struggled with it. But when I'm not having, I don't know what you'd call it, my deaf moments, then when I can hear, I hear like everything at once. I think you would call it hypersensitivity. I'm not sure if that's the right word I'm looking for, but it overstimulates me, and I'll hear like everything. My hearing will be so heightened. For example, a few days ago, my friend wanted me to go somewhere with her because she didn't want to go by herself, and she wanted to do stuff there. Anyway, it was already an unfamiliar place to me, and I was already panicking a little. And because of what happened, this is why I don't go out of my comfort zone too much. I mean, I try, but like there was only like 4 or 5 other people there, and there was like an office to one side, and then there was 2 people by us, and then there was a room a little further down that had a few people in it, and they're like all talking at once, and I could hear in the office the people talking plus someone tapping their pen. I could hear the 2 people talking to the side of me, or side of us. They're actually a side of my friend. I was a little further down. I could hear the people talking in the other room, and then I could hear people walking and pacing and moving garbage sacks and doing stuff with the shelves and things bumping, and I couldn't take it. I tried to text my other friend to keep me from having a meltdown, and I like to try to show that I'm normal because, you know, I look normal, but really I'm not. And I try to use that as my advantage so nobody thinks that I'm like this really weird crazy person having a meltdown for nothing. I'm what you call a sensory avoider, and talking to my friend didn't help. So what I did was I actually avoided the sensory, or tried to, and I ran to the bathroom after I figured out where it was. And when I was in the bathroom, I couldn't shut it off. I still like heard everything, like I was still in the other room. So then I had a meltdown on my own. And what I do when I have a meltdown and I get overstimulated, I hold my ears and I rock, and I will cry uncontrollably, and sometimes there will be shaking. Turn it off, 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 turn it off. Now the reason for this is because it hurts my ears, which is why I hold them, and it like burns my ears for some time even after my meltdown. And I have had meltdowns where they last a couple hours or so, which those are very exhausting. And I don't know, I've had those types even as an adult, and but I haven't had one that lasts for hours for a while. And in the middle of my freak out, I accidentally left her wallet in the bathroom, and the whole situation was actually scary for me, and even thinking about it is kind of overwhelming. And I feel bad that I did that, but she was able to go back and get it. I don't know if they called her or what, but she ended up calling me and telling me that I left her wallet there. Whoops. And I've felt really bad for it ever since, and this is the main reason why I try not to go out of my comfort zone. And a lot of places I do leave to are usually the same places that I've been going to since a child, you know, like Walmart or Target, or same restaurants, and even not the same restaurants or the same type of food. Now I'm getting off topic. So I ended up getting me noise canceling headphones, and they help to a certain extent with this. Now I'm also very sensitive to sounds and noises, and if a TV's on or there's a bunch of background music, I can focus on what someone's talking to me about. And sometimes I have turned down the TV, and my roommate doesn't understand why, and she doesn't, you know, get the struggles and of why I do some of the things I do, especially when it comes to sounds. But that's mainly because I have not really talked to her about my autism. It's not really, I mean, she knows I'm autistic, but it's not really come up in conversation, and she hasn't asked about a lot of it. She did watch the show Atypical, and now she says she gets some of the things, but I don't know. And by the way, that's a good show, and I don't know why there's so much hate on it that I've read, but it relates to me as an autistic. Anyway, I think that's all I can think of on my auditory issues. The next one, I guess, would be taste. And I have a kind of like a texture issue. I prefer crunchy and breaded things. So you would see me eat a lot of burritos and tacos just because I like the shells so much. And I can eat the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and sometimes I try to feed my son the same thing without thinking, especially if there's leftovers. Don't want to go to waste. Anyway, and I don't realize I'm doing this until my roommate says something about it. So that's the only thing I can think of for taste. And there are things where I can't stand the taste of, so I like get very nauseous and grossed out. Anyway, moving on to the smell, or the nose, or, you know, this thing right here, this, yeah. Anyway, I have a delayed sense of smell, which, a lot of, the stuff that other people can smell, it don't get to me until, like, 5 minutes later or so, and people are like, what, you can't smell that? My mom's like, your sniffer is broke, dude, you need to go to the doctor. I don't think my mom knows that it's part of an autism sensory thing. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about it makes me laugh. Anyway, then there's the times where certain smells I can actually smell that other people can't. Kind of like I'm pregnant, but I'm not, and I've been pregnant twice, so. But they will make me freaking nauseous. Like, I'll get really sick. There was these weird pork rind things that my roommate likes, and I about puked up the smell before I even tried it. I tried it to amuse her, and I about puked it up through the mouth, too. But, yeah. Puke was about to come out both ends, because no, never again. I can't stand the smell of the stuff. If she brings it here, I go clear to the other room, dude. Nope. No, 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 no. And my son likes it. Ain't that a bitch? Anyway, so that was auditory, taste, smell. Oh, touch. It hurts to be touched. And, so I don't like being touched very often, and it drives me crazy if someone touches me, which is hard to keep a romantic relationship going. But then if you do touch me, it has to be in a certain way. I like firm touches. If you touch me lightly, I feel like I want to knock you out. That's how that goes. But I don't have any aggression whatsoever, at least not now as an adult. I mean, it's for another story. I had the problem when I was quite smaller. But I don't have that problem now. Now I have my dad's temper. And the last one is, by the way, his temper, he doesn't have a temper. I worded that wrong, okay? I have my father's calmness. Yeah, that's about right. The last one is vision. Lights bug me. Let's just be clear. They bug me. Um, so at home, it's very, very dim. And sometimes if you see me at Walmart or something, I'll be wearing sunglasses. I mean, just certain types of lights, especially the fluorescent ones. My friend uh, that I went to the strange place with, her mother died, which I can't remember when she died because I have no sense of time. But we went to her funeral, and the lights there were bothering me, so I had my head down a lot. And then my sister came back from wherever the hell she was because mom took her somewhere, or she walked off or something, and then we were wondering where she was, and then poof, she was there with glasses. So she let me use her glasses. So yeah, that's how it affects me. It may not affect every autistic the same way. I mean, I don't know, because I've never been someone else with sensory processing disorder, just me. So, and these are my problems, and they're quite real, and they're annoying as hell. I think the main one I hate the most is the auditory issue. So sometimes I do wish I was actually deaf so I could shut it off. But uh, anyway, if you like this video or any of my others, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and spread the awareness, people. Much love.